me the organizer and stuff like that. Can everybody see my screen with the meeting invite and stuff like that on it?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm just running multiple screens here, so I just want to make sure I'm on the right one. So before we get started and stuff like that, we'll take a minute, stuff like that. Take any notes of any safety or anything that you guys need to cover, and just in case of an emergency, and be back in a minute then. Okay, we'll get started here. Doesn't look like we have a whole lot of people on the call today. Obviously, we got our face-to-face meeting coming up in, what's it, 3 weeks in St. Louis. Hope everybody out there can join us and stuff. So just kind of a quick rundown of things with the face-to-face. We have the afternoon of Monday the 3rd to get to know inventor session that for those of us that can get out early and stuff like that to get there. Kind of just a quick info session there for the first day, and then of course then we'll get into the more meat of things in Tuesday through Thursday. So with that, we're looking also, I know Jeremy sent out a bunch of emails, I hope everybody got them and stuff like that, as far as, looking for any topic ideas that anybody out there might like to discuss and stuff that we had down. We did get some feedback about going over some placing substation equipment and getting more feedback and stuff like that on the involvement on the forums and stuff like that on the website. And of course, we'll be going over the best practices there as well when we have our breakout session. So open it up to everybody out there. Does anybody want to have a topic idea that they'd like to discuss? Anything that when we do our breakout session and stuff like that they'd like to add or hit on?
No, but I do have a question about what you have on screen. Are you going to send this in an email? I didn't receive this. The one that was attached was the December 2016 final that was on the invite.
Okay. Yeah, we can send it out. I'm not sure. Like I said, I kind of scrambled here at the last minute with Jeremy sent this over to me in an email and stuff like that. So I didn't even get to look to see if this was the one that he sent me previously or not. So, but yeah, we can send this one out after the meeting. Of course, this meeting's being recorded. We'll get that up on the YouTube site as well and stuff. So
Okay.
we can get that out to you. Yep. Anybody else have anything or not for right now? Again, send us an email and stuff like that. I know I forget off the top of my head what date we were trying to get everything in, but if you have anything you want to email us next week or whatever, feel free. I know me and Jeremy will be wrapping up the presentation stuff the last week of March. So if you do have anything, try and get it to us next week or whatever. If you think of something that comes up. So discussion from, let's see what we got from the previous meeting. Steve, I haven't heard, I don't think Steve's on the meeting we have any more updates from the toolkits or anything out there. I know we did get some talk from Trevor, whatever. He's going to be showing off some new stuff at the face-to-face and whatnot. I think he even wanted some time in our breakout session to go over some new things and stuff like that. So there's some new stuff to come and stuff, I guess, that they're working on. I don't have a lot of details on any of that right now. Has anybody really dove into more of the update stuff from back in February that have any new feedback or anything is revolving around the toolkits right now?
Has anybody had any problem with some of their installs? I know mine didn't install some of the web DLL stuff, and I need to try to reinstall it and see if it comes back in, but like the design checks and stuff like that would crash.
I have not had any issue with it. I mean, I haven't used a whole lot of it here in the last few weeks and stuff like that, but I haven't had any issues with anything on my end. I don't know if anybody else out there have anything they can add to that as well. No. I'll just put that down as far as, they had some issues with the design check. It was crashing then when you ran the design checks?
Yeah, I think all the add cable tool and a few other things. I sent the information off to SDS for them to take a look at, but just wondering.
They didn't get back. They didn't get. Yeah. They didn't get back to you with anything.
Not as yet. They were looking into
Okay.
it, but I was just wondering if anybody else had a similar problem.
It doesn't sound like it at this point. We only have a few people on the call today, but doesn't look like it. So, like I said, I haven't run into any issues. So, I'll.
I haven't used it, so I can't give you any feedback on that. The new toolkit.
Okay, we'll put it down as a note for the meeting and stuff like that, and then I'll get back with Jeremy and stuff like that, and we'll see if we can circle back with SBS and stuff like that to see if they have anything on that.
Okay.
So again, highlighting the YouTube channel. I think Steve posted another video and stuff like that up there. I believe it's up there. So again, check that out and stuff like that. Steve's been great at posting some videos and stuff like that. And again, if you have anything there that you want to get up on to our YouTube channel, you can always email me, myself and Jeremy and stuff like that, and we can help get that added to the YouTube channel. Again, this meeting, after we're done and stuff, the recording, we'll get that added to there as well. So we have our best practices. I know there's not a lot of people on the call, so I guess we won't really go through this and stuff like that a whole lot. Again, we're going to try at the face-to-face to get these first few here listed here that cleaned up and get presented to the leadership of the council to get for final approval and stuff like that, and so that we can actually complete the process of these few best practices listed here. Obviously, we have a bunch more going on. I'm sure everybody's looking for more feedback and stuff. Again, we've created the forums out on the website and stuff. So encourage people to get out there, use the website, and hopefully after the face-to-face that people have updates and can provide more discussion and stuff like that. We'll have more, and we can wrap up some of these, try and start wrapping up some of these other ones that have been. Does anybody out there have anything that they would like to add as a best practice, or anything on the best practices that are ongoing, wrapping up, they would like to discuss now, or issues with anything? Any new ones, new ideas out there? Okay, it doesn't seem like we have a whole lot today. Everybody's still waking up from the morning. I know I'm still digging out from snow up here in the Northeast, so it's been a fun week for me, catching up on things.
Hey Josh, this is Jeremy. I just joined the meeting, so you can continue on 'cause I'm not in front of my computer just yet. But how
Okay.
much snow did you get?
How much snow? They said it was, I think in my area it was like 15 inches, but I could not get a gauge. It drifts like heck out by me, so I had, a foot to 3 foot in areas and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. And of course, in town's a mess. Anytime you get, a foot plus of snow and stuff like that, just makes a mess in town. They got to bring loaders in and stuff like that to actually clear the snow and stuff like that. They actually shut streets down and, bring loaders and dump trucks and stuff like that to get rid of the snow. So,
Wow.
fun time.
Yeah. So on the best practices, I just wanted to add, I don't know if you covered it yet, but so I think we got a total of 5 that are going for review, for final review at our face-to-face meeting. Did you cover that already?
Yeah, I just kind of like highlighted that we had, some of the ones that we want to get wrapped up at the face-to-face.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue on. Did we lose Josh?
Kind of looks like it.
Huh. Well, we'll give him a couple minutes to join back in. So how many people on the call are actually going to the face-to-face meeting? Nobody?
I think John Thomas and Bill are coming from Southern Company. At least that's what I thought he mentioned one day.
Do you know if Curtis and Eugene are coming?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hey, sorry guys, I lost phone there for a moment. So, I'm back.
Must have got some snow in the line, huh?
Yeah, well, we actually didn't have too many power outages, at least as far as our territory was concerned. So that was, knock on wood, that was good and stuff. But I guess the phone didn't like me today.
Right on. The one thing I will add about the face-to-face meeting, I think we're at 103 people that have signed up so far. Typically in the last 2 weeks is when we get the most sign-ups. So it's looking like it might be one of our biggest face-to-face meetings yet. And we are going to have an online portion of it. You may have already covered that, though, Josh. I'm not sure if you did or not.
Yeah, I didn't mention about the online.
Okay, so yeah, kind of like what we did with Kansas City. When we do the breakout sessions, we'll get the GoToMeeting going. I'll send out a link for the GoToMeeting. Once we know the final agenda, I'll also send out, when to log in, when we'll make that go live, as well as all the breaks and stuff. So definitely be on the lookout for that here in the next week or so. But I'll let you go take this back over, Josh.
Okay. We were kind of touching on our best practices. Of course, like Jeremy mentioned, again, here we have the ongoing efforts. And I think I was opening it up to see if anybody had anything to add. I know we don't have a lot of people on the call that want to talk about any of the ongoing efforts that we have. I think there's some new efforts that are just getting started. If there's any updates on that, and of course, if anybody has anything that they'd like to add as maybe a idea or anything for a new best practice that we haven't already started? I guess from silence we don't have anything to really note of on this meeting and stuff like that. Again, we'll be covering this stuff at our face-to-face and hopefully get a whole lot more feedback and progress on our ongoing ones, and hopefully get some new ones started, and hopefully by some new people too. If we're going to have so many people out there, hopefully there's some new faces and stuff like that can obviously offer their experience and knowledge of where they're at with things and stuff. Is this
here?
What's that?
I'm back at my computer, so here I'm going to take it from you for a second before we get off the best practices. I just wanted to show something real quick, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So I've compiled a list of all the people that are doing the best practice document efforts and the practices that they're doing. So just to kind of highlight some of our champions of this, we've got Curtis Bussey from Southern Company. He's leading 3 of these efforts. So best practice topic would be part model design. That one's still ongoing, so he's still looking for feedback on that. If it says ongoing, the person doing it is still looking for feedback, or if it says new. He's also doing assembly design and then cleaning out local workspace, which is in final review. So we're looking to get that one in front of the Leadership Council at face-to-face. And then you've got Eugene Champion, Southern Company as well. His best practice document topic is Z-Access Up, and that one's going to be going for final review as well. Then you've got Jeff Calgill, Southern Company, doing the Just Getting Started with Inventor best practice document, and his is complete and ready for approval, and it's already on the buddy drive. Then we got our co-chair here, Josh Clark. He's doing Inventor Performance for Substation Design, multi-level site grade substation design, and then he took on a new one of positional representations. We're still looking for any supporting members we can get for any of these. So if you're interested, please reach out and let us know. Definitely need to get any feedback he can possibly get on that. Then we've got Michael Chasser from Burns & Mac. He's working on 3 himself. So visual fidelity, that one's supposed to go for final review at face-to-face. And then he's got 2 that are ongoing, which is part assembly file naming convention and the bill of material population and output. Both, like I said, both ongoing. The one in final review, Mark Thomas from Duke Energy, was backing him up on that. And then Terry Hummel is backing him up on the part assembly file naming convention, as well as the BOM population and output. Then Steve Mattingly, who I believe is on the call, from HDR, he's champion 3 of these best practices. So we've got side-by-side installation of SDS, URD cable, which is in final review, and then 3D model cleanup for website effort, which is technically not a best practice, but it's a huge effort, and I guess you guys are going to try to put some sort of documentation as you go through that, correct?
That would be my idea on it, yeah. I know I did talk with Steve asking about when they might be dumping the files down so we can start doing a QC, and it sounds like they've got some tools that they'll have available in about a month. So hopefully we can get that going.
Awesome. And then you have Mike Chasser backing you up on that one.
Yep.
Then our next one is led by Terry Hummel. and she's doing a new one for model orientation. And her backup on that's Michael Chasser, brings him back. And then her other one is another new one, and that's conduit and grounding. And then Steve Mattingly will be backing her up on that one. Terry Hummel is on a cruise right now, so I'm very jealous of her, so I wanted you all to be too. Then we got Justin Ayer from Duke Energy. I believe he is on the call. And then he's doing a new one, and this one is for iLogic with Mary Pylon from RRC Companies backing him up on that one. And then finally, we've got Chris DeCote from Distran. This is another new one that we've got, and this one's going to be Content Center Parts and Libraries. And then Michael Chasser is going to be backing him up on that one. So I just kind of wanted to highlight for everybody, you know, we've got several of these efforts going, quite a few of them going for final review to be set for approval this April, which would be great. So again, if you're working in it and you see something that's kind of one of those aha moments where you go, this might make a good best practice across, you know, all utilities, bring your ideas. You know, let's talk about them and see if we can't get them on paper and get something moving on that. Every one of these individuals who have stepped up to do one have been doing a really tremendous job, especially the ones like Steven here, Michael, Josh, Curtis. I mean, they're each taking on three themselves. That's a huge effort for them to be taking on so many. But and then you got Terry taking on 2 herself. But just wanted to kind of highlight that for everybody, and just wanted everybody to know, you know, we still got things going. We're still moving forward with stuff, and we've got lots of people working on these things. So I think these are going to become something that's really important, especially not only for new users, but especially for the current users, to help maybe even streamline their own workflows, things like that. So any comments or anything on any of this?
Can you forward that document also?
Would you like it?
Sure.
I could actually host it on the website even. Put it in the buddy drive. That way it's just kind of a running list that we got going.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. We'll get that up there then. Let me write myself a note. And then I'll send out a notification that it's up there with a link to it as well. All right. Got that noted. So now, yes, we were right here, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's the fun time of opening up the floor to everybody just to discuss workflows, anything that you wanted to discuss, bring up. Again, aha moments, or you know, if you ran into an issue, it's a perfect opportunity to you know, get some feedback from others who may have already ran into that issue and have figured out a way to work around it. So I'll start at the bottom of the list and work my way up. If you don't have anything, just let us know. If you do, the floor will be yours. So we'll start with Jim Silas. Man, he ran away. Stephen Mattingly.
I know there's a few things I've kind of stumbled upon. I'm trying to write up kind of a Word document that's covering some of the stuff. I know one of the things I noticed was like a lot of the conduit doesn't have an inside dimension, and I know we use kind of a combination between Schedule 40 and Schedule 80, and I don't know how that takes into consideration when you run cable calculations. So I was wondering if there's a possibility of getting an internal dimension as well as the external dimension of the bus included in the SDS generation, so that that information is available and can be used for calculations.
And you said you're writing something up on that right now?
Yeah. So I'll send this off. If it's not this week, it'll be early next week. And then I don't know if anything's kind of come about with the grounding crosses and being able to, I think right now it seems like it's very generalized materials, but you know, if you've ever worked with CAD welds, you've got different types of molds, different types of crosses, tees, all that type of stuff, and how we can get that built so it's intelligent enough to know what to use or whether to use a assembly file that contains both the mold information, mold part, as well as the weld material. So things like that. But I'll get.
Yeah, I know I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'll get these written up and sent off.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that we have been pushing for the ability to select which CAD weld or mold you wanted to use. We've been pushing for that for a long time. I think we're at 1.5 years on that one. So yeah, whatever you can write up on that would be great, because we need to get that in there. The more people that get in here, I guarantee you they're going to come up with the same thing that you just said, because I know we here at Duke did. And then I believe Southern Company also brought that issue up as well.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure out how we're going to, you know, because the mold can be used, you know, repeatedly and stuff like that. You know, how to get that built in to take in account for, you know, for your bill of material. You know, like if a mold can be used 5 times, 10 times. You know, I think we have ones even like used like 50 times and stuff like that, just to, you know, to get an accurate account for your bill of material.
Yeah, because I know I've got a few clients that I've got to calculate out bill of materials for conduit and grounding, so it saves me time if the program can do it for me. So,
yep.
But yeah, I'll get these written up and sent off.
Awesome. Okay.
So I think that's it for me.
What's that?
Other than that, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Next on the list would be Mark Thomas.
Hey, first let me apologize for joining late. Was there anything that was discussed earlier in the meeting that referenced anything for me?
We just kind of brushed through the best practices. I know you're backing up Michael Chasser on one. Is there anything,
right.
And in fact, that one's supposed to go for final review at this face-to-face meeting. So do you have any information on that at this point that you could share with the group?
I think the final draft that was sent to you, if I'm not mistaken, so you do have the final draft. Let me know if you do not, and I'll see if I can't get it and resend it.
How long ago? Because I know that I had made some comments, and Michael said he was going to get that incorporated, but has there been any, has there been another final since then?
Let me back check that, and I'll get back to you. I think he, if that's the case, he may be still incorporating his final comments. So I'll check with him one last time.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But Other than that, I didn't have anything.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Next on the list would be Robert Lee.
I don't have anything.
All right, thank you, sir. Kelly, Cam, I remember.
Yes, I'm not presently using the tools. We're still trying to get everything implemented for our side. We've made it past the parts building, and we're working on assemblies right now. But as far as being able to contribute to this, I'm listening in to try and learn and educate myself.
That's what we're here for, and glad to have you. How do you feel about your current implementation? Are you getting warm and fuzzies from it, or is there any issues that you see could be coming up later on, or anything?
Well, I don't really think I need to discuss all that on the forum. But we are trying to get through our training modules, and that's kind of what I'm going to be in charge of, is trying to make sure all of our training is geared towards what we do and our processes. And but you know, we're still trying to get our assemblies built and models represented the way that we need them based on the opcos. So after all of that's generated, then we can start packaging all this together and designing some of the substations that we've got on our schedule. So we're a work in progress right now. But we did, during the training, encounter problems with the grounding, making the connections, the molds. That was an issue. And on our bill of material that we have in-house to date, they've used a percentage on the molds, and I don't know if this is a suggestion they can put in the bill based on that type of mold, just a decimal place of, you know, break it down on how many molds that you can use and use it in the tenths column. And by the time you add so many based off your connections to get a whole mold, and that's been our work in progress for years. We typically massage the bill to put it to an even amount after we run our calculations. I don't know if that's something that can be put in there or not, or if it would be helpful to try and do it that way, because everybody probably uses different types of molds. But the concept was also an issue.
We definitely pushed forward to SDS the need for the ability to customize per utility and per mold. How many molds you get out of, you know, one, how many molds, how many shots you get out of one mold. And so I know that we pushed that, but I'm going to lean on them a little harder for it again, especially at the face-to-face.
Well, and the conduit was really troublesome to try and go through the training, because I don't actually use Inventor. I've been training on it, and to try and understand the philosophy behind it and all the connections of drawing a circle. And I know you're trying to get reference points, but there's got to be a better way. And I haven't evaluated anything that Terry's done. I did look at some videos that she had at one point of showing the connection, trying to use the tools, but I never did really follow the whole process, because that was early on when I started looking at the tools. So they've probably come up with some better solutions since that video she had a long time ago.
Yeah, and
I know there was a lot of improvements. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm working with Terry on conduit and grounding stuff, best practice. So hopefully we'll get some videos made and stuff like that, some work-throughs, and hopefully that'll help everybody out.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way, because what we experienced in the training, it was it was painful.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of glitches and stuff like that with it working and stuff like that. And we actually, you know, not that we wanted to go away from the toolkit, but we went ahead and just we had a guy that was proficient in the tube and pipe environment, and he actually added the conduit in there, so that would be another option to use, just to use for conduit and stuff like that if we wanted that. So we've used that a little bit too, along with the toolkit.
How much more successful are you at using tube and pipe with, can you add cable and conduit, or cables into it and it knows, or
yeah, see, once it, because it's not created by the toolkit, it doesn't really know any of that stuff. So we haven't really done any of that with it, stuff like that. But we've used it for like going from PVC to like steel conduit all on the same conduit run, because you can switch right as you're going with it and stuff like that. So that's where it's helped a little bit with that.
Something I did notice when I was evaluating the parts, we've got a couple of jobs identified that we're going to start trying to build models for. But in the toolkit, we've got different types of conduit that we use, and there wasn't a direct burial type of conduit that was selected on the model that one of the guys was working on. So I think there needs to be a broader range of what type conduit you have in there identified, because in our listing it didn't show direct burial. It just had like a 2-inch conduit. Now I don't know how the other utilities operate, but we use this direct burial that's a different type of plastic material that's rated for being underground. I'm sure y'all are familiar with it, but we didn't notice that in the toolkit.
Yeah, we mostly use PVC and steel.
Okay.
In the ground. We use flex and stuff like that. Is all like seal tight. Is all above ground.
Yeah, your riser connections.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can speak a little bit to the tube and pipe stuff. Yes, you can run your cabling with tube and pipe as well as conduit. In fact, that's what we used to do here at Duke. But the problem that we've run into with that is it adds so much calculation to very large assemblies, and you end up running into a lot of performance issues using that method. So just something to think about if you want to try to get into that. You can play with it, but we did not have a lot of great success when it came to the performance side of things, mostly because it makes things adaptive. It tries to recalculate them every time in an assembly whenever you want to move something or change something or open it. So just something to keep in mind there.
Okay. I think my worry with the way the toolkit is set up for adding cables into the conduit is you can add them in any of the assemblies, but you almost have to do it in the overall assembly to make sure that you have everything calculated properly. So if I had somebody go and make a change, they might just open up the one of the modules within it, pick that and add it, and it's not going to cascade through the whole thing. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've had much success with it that way. It's a little harder to visualize.
All right. I know one of the things that a couple of our regions were doing, and I think all the regions will be doing after we go through this rollout of our new MRP system and multi-level CUs. So you're going to have basically a below-grade conduit set that you need to be able to calculate that for, and then your above-grade conduit. So the above-grade conduit, we'll put that into our assemblies, and then you'll just have that one assembly for all the below-grade stuff. So the below-grade will come stub up above the grade, and then stop there, and then you'll have the above-grade tie-in right there. So ideally for us, it would be, you have that above-grade conduit on your assembly, you plop that down in, and then run it from, and then have your below-grade using the toolkit to run it from that above grade piece all the way to your pool box or control house or whatever, wherever you need to run it.
Yeah, I kind of visualize the same setup. So.
Yeah, we do something similar too with like our sub-assemblies and stuff like that, have kind of like the above grade conduit and stuff and built into those sub-assemblies, or if we're transitioning from, we do some where we actually have like a steel elbow, where they actually want the steel elbow down in the ground and then going to PVC, so we actually have that steel elbow then on all the way up to as part of our sub-assembly on some of those sub-assemblies that we're using that for those particular sites.
Right. Sounds like you got some good feedback for your documentation effort there, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I need.
What's the best way to do it?
I did want to circle back to something, Kelly. So you're in charge of putting together the internal training for using the SDS tools?
Yes. Well, all the training for this side, for the west side. So I'm trying to learn the software, evaluate the training, and help with the model production to make sure we have the right parts.
Gotcha.
And trying to learn how to do Inventor. So I'm having fun.
Sounds like you got your cut out for you.
Oh, yeah. I stepped into a whirlwind.
Would it be okay if I follow up with you offline? I'd like to talk to you a little more about, you know, kind of where you're at and where you see you're going. I'm trying to put together some training packages here over the next 6 months or so. And I'd just kind of like to see, you know, what you guys have been doing, what you've investigated, and what you've decided to go with, if that's okay.
Well, we ended up investing with Autodesk, and they have supplied us with the basic training and process training. I will tell you that in advance. But there's a few glitches in there with, I'm coming at it from the perspective of never used an Inventor, in which I haven't. I mean, it's honest feedback. So all the people that are going to be training on it are kind of in my shoes. So as I'm looking through the training that they've put together for the basic Inventor and the process training, we're probably going to supplement some more information in there to make it a little more simplified, because based off of what I'm seeing, whoever built this instructional material was real advanced in Inventor, and they hit on all the topics that we needed from Southern Company's point of view on the process training, but there still needs to be a few nuggets out there that they can pull from to help understand it a little bit better, because this is a monster. You go from regular AutoCAD to something that we're implementing for Southern Company, and it's just mind-boggling, because you're having to learn Vault, Inventor, what your practices are going to be, and the whole setup. So it's an enormous effort.
Yeah, so
I'm sure y'all have all encountered that.
Yeah, I've been through quite a few different training efforts here at Duke, and the most successful one that we actually had was having the users just take the out-of-the-box training from a reseller or whatever, and then just creating, you know, Duke-specific workflow training. So, right. And then they, you know, it's just complemented by that out-of-the-box training. So that way the users know how to use the software, they learn how to use the software, and they can use it, and then they start the workflow training, whereas, you know, now they're trying to apply it to their specific jobs.
Right.
Yeah, we had that essentials class. Our first group had that, like, just basic essentials class, and then as we had, you know, again, we had our reseller do the training and stuff like that. As they did kind of the essentials class for like our next group of people and stuff like that, at that point we had already started, kind of like modeling some parts and stuff like that. So they incorporated kind of some of the things that we were starting to establish as, kind of our practices and stuff like that with modeling just some of the parts, just basic stuff. But when they were, modeling, and just getting used to, modeling a part for the first time, they actually did like a foundation or something, that, it's typically that they would do for their job and stuff like that. So, gave it, instead of just modeling something that they picked, that they would normally do at any essentials class, they tried to tailor it then towards, some of the things that we were seeing needed and stuff like that. So just to kind of get a jump start on, what would be tailored to our usage.
Well, I don't know if you had the same essentials that we had, but the let's see, what was it, cam and a couple of the parts that were in there, they show you how to extrude, the basic principles behind extrude, but some of this you really had to know Inventor to be able to perform the actual models. So we're supplementing it with all their exercises, little videos to show them how to do it. Because I sat over here working on this training and pulling my hair out saying, how in the world did they do that? Because it didn't make any sense based off of what they had showed me up to that point. But after I've seen a video of how a best practice of, applying your constraints or whatever was implemented, it made sense. But up until that point, the videos that they produced didn't give me that sense of security, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot we didn't do a lot with the videos and stuff like that. But we've been using, because again, while we had our second round and more people were getting trained and stuff like that, we actually had some documentation of how we were going to do things and stuff like that down. So they had a little bit more to go by. Our biggest thing for like our first group and stuff like that was getting some of the basics, but then also going back at the same time as we had the software installed on our computers and going back on our own and just playing, getting seat time on it and stuff like that was the biggest thing we had. And we actually tried to set up designated time so that people can get the change of the software and stuff like that. Yeah, that they actually have a day or something like that where they can do, and it really got to be you kind of got to judge how your people and stuff like that are, but it's got to be almost 2 days or something like that a week to really it depends on how fast you want to bring them up to speed. The faster, the more time they need.
Well, it's great information what we got from them, and it saved a lot of time for us trying to reinvent the wheel because it's already put together in their terms based off the software. But like I said, I'm coming from never looking at this and trying to build parts based off of what they put together. It was too high level from my point of view. If they'd showed me, okay, let's just make a couple of boxes and put a cylinder on it or something like that, I would have been great, just to get your feet wet and understand what you're trying to accomplish. That give you a complicated part, it was like, I don't know where to begin on this.
Our training was definitely dumbed down. It was a lot more simpler and stuff like that for that. And again, we had no idea kind of when our first group went really what we were doing. So the guys that did our training, they kind of kept it real simple for us. So I could see where that would be trouble if they didn't keep it simple.
Well, I look at it from a point of view, you're trying to learn 2 different softwares plus a process and how you're going to develop your substation. And the more complicated you make everything, you've already got so much you have to learn anyway. The simpler you can make it, the better off the person's going to be with getting frustrated and losing interest.
Yep, I definitely agree. Yeah. I think for our benefit is we kind of focused in on the software first, and then once we had an understanding of some of the software, kind of processes and stuff and how we were going to do things started to get established.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else on that you might have, Kelly?
No, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm lost and trying to learn. So I can teach others.
well, if you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us. I mean, a lot of us have been there already, and yeah, we've hit a lot of the roadblocks that you're probably about to hit. So definitely lean on us. We're willing to help any way we can.
Okay.
Next on the list is Mr. Justin Ayer. All right, no Justin. So last on the list will be Josh.
So I don't really have much of anything to add. Putting together some slides and stuff like that to for the face-to-face, you know, kind of go over where we're at with things and stuff like that. Hopefully we'll be able to provide a little bit of an update to everybody.
Okay, sounds good. And then I know we only got like 3 minutes left, so I'll rush through this real quick. I got a few new additions to some of the stuff that we had been asking Trevor about. He didn't want to let out too much information because he does want me to steal his thunder for the upcoming face-to-face meeting. But so there's a high-level overview of new features that could be found on the substationdesignsuite.com under V7 Inventor What's New, or V7 ACAD What's New if you want to know the AutoCAD electrical stuff, which I find very boring. Just kidding. But then QA checks for the V7. They're in the process of porting the SD Enterprise code over to a module of SBS's existing utility data hub, which will greatly enhance the functionality that they had and accessing and integrating with exterior systems like Maximo. So the new release of that will be titled UDH for SDS. And then documentation, there's all the help documentation for V7 is updated on the substationdesignsuite.com website. And there are 3 new courses available for purchase, two for Inventor and 1 for ACAD. I haven't had a chance to look at those yet, but I'll try to provide feedback if I can get access to them before we go to the face-to-face meeting. Then next was they will be making a major announcement on the cloud fog content. The existing substation3d.com and substationpnc.com will be rebranded to substationcontent.com with three main portal accessible by vendors, administrators, and users respectively. All content metadata can be integrated. Demo will be done at the consortium meetings, but let's just say it's a game changer in final development right now. And then he provided a couple teasers, so there's kind of what it's going to look like there when you go to the site, and then some of the analytics as far as, you know, who's downloading what, when, where, what utility, things like that. So any questions on any of that? Not that I'm Trevor could probably answer them, but I'll try. Nice. I ran through that in 2 minutes, which leaves us 2 minutes for a final roundtable. And I will firstly say that this is the first time that we have gotten to the end of the agenda in at least 4 months. So floor is open. If anybody has anything else that they'd like to bring up, talk about, or anything else related to SDS or not, now's your time. So floor is all yours. I love the crickets. Everybody wants to get off of here. So I definitely want to say thank you to Josh for starting the meeting off for us and being a very good host. I thought you did an excellent job. I listened in a little bit before I actually spoke up. But just wanted to say thanks again for stepping in there. I got stuck in another meeting, and it's a huge help, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And then the last thing that I'm going to add is be on the lookout for the links for the online portion for if you're not going to meet us face-to-face in St. Louis. Be on the lookout for the links for the online portion. I'm also going to be sending out the link for the best practice document effort that we showed earlier. I'm going to put that on a buddy drive. I'll send that link out. And then also sometime tomorrow I should have the March and February meetings uploaded to the consortium's YouTube channel. I have to apologize. I got really busy with work and haven't had a chance to upload February's yet. So my goal between today and tomorrow is to get those up there for you all, and I'll let you all know as soon as those are up, as well as put out the meeting minutes. So if nobody else has anything else, we can go ahead and call this adjourned. So thank you all for all your time, and look forward to hopefully seeing most of you in St. Louis, or at least online. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.